How's it going, guys? It's Nutshell here, and today I want to focus on some things that you should be doing as a low-level player or a player that's trying to get to the highest level as possible during the PvE mode. So when you actually start off in PvE mode, a lot of people, and I see a lot of people and talk to a lot of people on the actual official Escape From Tarkov Discord that kind of focus mainly on trying to make money at the beginning. But in fact, most people don't realize that a lot of the high-end money-making methods require you to have a lot of varying different level requirements. And so I wanted to show you the sorts of things you should do before you focus on money, because the money will come as you start to level up and progress on your account, and then it starts to unlock all of the potential options that you can do for money later on. So starting off, of course, making sure that you do get your traders leveled up as quickly as possible. Now, there are a couple ways to do it. You can do it via the task, making sure that you do all of your daily tasks for each of the traders, making sure that if you get a really hard one that won't cost you any rep to actually replace, you're replacing them. You can click the replace button, it's going to make it much quicker, and as you go through, you're going to make a ton of XP from those daily tasks. Just focusing on getting all of the tasks done and focusing on one specific quest line on a specific map is going to save you a lot of time. So for example, if I look on the locations, I've got a ton of streets tasks that I can do, but I can do all of these streets tasks in one go. Like, I can do most of these all in one raid if I do it correctly. So that is what I will be doing. I'll be focusing on getting 4 tasks all at once. Stacking up your tasks for each of the maps is the best thing that you can do. There are a few tasks that are kind of like the beginning ones, which open up to a lot more tasks. So for me, the big sale, I have to do this one. It's the only one on interchange really, and it will open up Ragman's next level of quests, which is why I'm only level 2 Ragman, for those of you wondering. It's just because I haven't played much streets or interchange, at least on the PvE mode. Then we've got a load on reserve, so you can see, just stack up all of your quests on each of the maps and then do them all at once, making sure to check some of the any location ones and doing those as well. So that is what I would recommend in terms of leveling up your traders and getting those as quickly as possible. Now, some of the traders require you to have levels, and how can you level up much quicker without, having to do tasks? Tasks give you a good XP, but how can you get extra kind of XP during your raids? Well, that's where the hideout comes in. The hideout is very, very good because some of the hideout items and stations give you more XP. So for example, our library gives us an additional 16.5% raid XP, which is big. It's really, really good to have that additional raid XP. And of course, you can see here, we've got our skill group leveling practical up by 33%, which is very, very good. It saves you essentially a lot of time, because you're saving yourself 16.5% less time to level up, as well as you're saving yourself 33% of the, for every 3 days, you're basically saving yourself a day of being able to play and leveling up at the same amount. So yeah, getting your hideout leveled up is one of the biggest things, making sure to go through and making sure that you upgrade as fast as possible. The upgrades on the hideout are very expensive, but I would dump all of my money at the beginning into the hideout. It's one of the best things you can do, leveling up your intel center, and over time the hideout will make you your money back. All of the crafts in here, there are quite a few that will make you money. The wires will make you about 150k every hour and 51 minutes is what we've currently got it at, with the production time reduced because we've got our skill leveled up. And talking about making sure that you get your skill leveled up, as you go through, you can put on various different kind of tasks, or I guess assignments to each of the units within the actual hideout itself. So you could make yourself 10 vodkas, etc., which is a very good, valuable trade and will make you about 300k. But as you go through, you want to make sure that you're swapping between these, because it gives you more XP when it comes to your crafting skill. And the crafting skill is really, really useful because it reduces all of the item crafting time by 6%. So that's the current percent that I've got. Every time you level up, it goes up by 0.75%, which is how we're at 6%. So we're getting closer and closer, but in order to level it up as fast as possible, you want the smallest amount of time tasks on each of your ones that you can kind of go between two different tasks constantly. Because every time that you successfully do a task consecutively after each other, you don't get as much XP as if you were to, say, for example, do this fleece fabric and then do a mag case. You'll get more XP for the mag case, but the mag case takes 4 hours. But what it doesn't take, the gas mask to get a gas mask air filter takes 1 minute and 50 seconds. So I can do the fleece fabric in about an hour, and then go over to the gas mask, do that in 1 minute, and then back to the fleece fabric. So we can get essentially 3 XP every single hour almost by just doing these two things. And over time that builds up massively, and you can end up leveling up your crafting skill a lot. And then eventually when you get your crafting skill maxed out, you can save yourself a ton of money, and you can double craft on each of the stations. So you can do 2 crafts at once at the max crafting level. So this is something I would recommend doing and starting now as soon as you can to get that leveled up. Now, obviously, talking about all of the hideout, everything is pretty self-explanatory. Just make sure that you do focus on leveling everything up. That is what I would recommend for that. Then we move on to the age-old question of, but I don't have any money. Well, the first thing that I would do is go and try and make some loot runs. Now, you can either do loot runs yourself, you can try and come up with novel and unique ones, or you can check out some of the loot runs that we've done that are very consistent, that I've found work well for me. Obviously, that depends on whether you like them, and play however you want to play. But if you want to make quite decent money and very effective money during your time on PvE mode, then these ones in the description down below will be very, very useful to you, and I'll leave a link at the end of the video as well, so you can just click on them at the end of this video to kind of get yourself a ton of money just by doing the same sort of loot runs. And you do that 5 times, you get yourself 10 mil, 15 mil, whatever it is, and then you're set to just go crazy with your hideout, to go crazy with your weapons and ammunition, buying as best gear as you possibly can. And that's something people don't do. People don't buy the best gear that they can. Now, I don't know why this is on PvE, but it's something I faced when I was talking to other people is, I don't have enough money, but I'm doing this and that and blah, blah, blah. I don't have enough money. Or I don't want to spend the money on buying that gear. But spending money on your gear is going to make you much more money in the long run, because now you can run raids much easier. You're not going to get taken out as often. You get your gear back in insurance every single time that you do get taken out, and that means that why would you not make the best possible gear that you can? So if you find level 5 plates and above and level 6 plates in a raid, keep them, take them back, put them in your stash, and then put them into the best rigs that you have available to you, which is what I've been doing over the time. Now, we've got a lot of level 6 plates now, and essentially I'll run pretty much most of them with that. This one has level 5s in, and of course making sure to put level left and right hand plates in is very useful in the rigs that you can put that into, and you can buy those off of Peacekeeper and Skier, I believe, most of the time, and of course Ragman as well. And then you've got, of course, making sure to kit out your weapon, putting on a scope, one that is kind of a magnification one that can go from like 1 times to 3, 4, 5 times, and just picking a scope that you like. This scope on this one is very cheap, and it's kind of a starter scope. The one that I would actually use on my weapons going forward now would be the this one right here. It's more expensive, but it is the Razor. This is basically a better version of the Spectre because it doesn't get a weird shadow effect when you lean to the left and right, which the Spectre does. So making sure to put this one on, going to be much better, much easier. And then just making sure you kit out your weapons, making sure to reduce your ergo, and I'm going to go through a guide on ergo on this game to make sure that you guys know as quickly as possible on the channel at least how to actually do your weapon builds properly and make them much better and more effective, so you don't get taken out by PMCs and bosses as easily anymore. So with that in mind, of course, that is pretty much all I wanted to go through, is the 2 or 3 things that are really key to kind of focus on when it comes to making gear and just getting yourself leveled up and just leveling up your traders and just making things a lot easier for you on the game, because people are often shocked with how much stuff they need to think about with Tarkov And it's very, very simple when you break it down into those 3 things, and to try not to focus on money at the beginning. It is very hard to do, and focusing on looting and stuff like that. Just get your tasks done, go into raids, focus purely on your tasks. Don't bother looting, that sort of stuff, because most of the loot that you're going to be picking up during those tasks is not great because you're not usually in the proper loot run mode. So if it comes and there's a Bitcoin on the floor, or there's something super expensive on the floor, pick it up. But if there isn't, don't try and find it in those raids where you're trying to do the tasks. Just get them done, focus on them, and you can blast through them as quickly as possible, and then focus on your loot runs, get as best armor, and you can move on from there. But hopefully that gave you like a brief explanation of stuff that you can do. And that is really one thing that I felt like I wanted to make, because hopefully it helps you or gives you some kind of guidance as to what you should really be doing on the game. Because yeah, you're going to make a lot more money when you have everything and you've leveled up, and you can make exponentially more. And yeah, so with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it. And if you want to see some more like those loot runs, I will leave 2 on screen right here, so you can have a look at those, and hopefully you like those too. And I will see you in the next one. Have a great rest of the day. Goodbye.